Hey, everybody, off the top rope here, off the Mike Sports Network. Wanted to give a shout out here in this video to one Zelina Vega. Um, because, we spend a lot of time talking about the top level women's superstars. Frankly, I think Zelina is one of the top level women's superstars. I think she gets knocked a little bit because of her size, and she hasn't really gotten a chance to show how she could wrestle. I'm glad that she's finally gotten a chance to run and show that she can wrestle. But on Friday Night SmackDown, finally, after years in this company, in WWE, she finally won a singles championship. She beats Chelsea Green for the Women's United States Championship. On the same night, literally like a segment later, her husband, Aleister Black, shows up. And, what a wonderful night for that household. Um, Listen, man, like I love and adore Zelina to death. She is immensely talented on the microphone. She managed Andrade. She ended up managing, that weird group during COVID. She's been great as a heel. She won the Queen of the Ring. And she's never really felt like until she had that match in her home country of Puerto Rico, against Rhea Ripley. It didn't really like feel like WWE was all the way in on Zelina. And she's, kind of been dwindling in the mid card. She had some stuff with Pure Fusion Collective before they, got rid of Sonya Deville. Um, but this woman is just so immensely talented. And I remember seeing her when she was in TNA. You remember Mexican America or whatever? Like it was, and that was the whole thing with Hernandez and Cerrito was there, Sarah Stock, and she was always talented. She was just really young, and like I said, a lot of people are going to knock her for her size, but you know, she's always stood out as like she's really talented in the ring. She can do a lot of cool stuff, and then obviously her ability on the mic, you could see immediately when she debuted and was managing Andrade in NXT. And I'm sad that they broke that up, but I'm glad that Zelina is getting a chance to shine as, like I said, she's the second ever Women's United States champion. This is what those championships were meant to do, is elevate talent that were either young and needed to be elevated or, a really like, and I know a lot of people in the fan base love Zelina, but a talent that is universally beloved by the fan base finally getting their due. And she absolutely got her due. She earned it in this match. It was a shock win. It'll be interesting to see how they manage, this title run and if it's going to be anything more than that. Knowing Triple H, he doesn't, do anything really cheap. So it'll be interesting to see how she interacts, with Chelsea Green to like, get through that portion of it. And then who the next challenger might be. Who knows? Maybe she feuds with the Secret Hervis and, Piper Niven and, Alba Fire get a shot at this. But this is exactly what, creating those additional titles was supposed to do, is to elevate talent who, maybe at some point could be in the women's championship picture, but you put them with a mid-card title. This is exactly what it's supposed to be. And Zelina is the perfect champion to potentially raise the bar in this with this women's division. And, obviously I think Evolution's going to come up and it's going to be great. And like I said, it's just a cherry on top of the Sunday that her husband's back in the company the same night that she wins the championship. So that must have been a good night for that household. Side note, please change your music. Go back to her old music, because whatever the hell this, generic bullshit that they've been using with her is just it's upsetting. It really is upsetting. So yeah, I mean, listen, like it's I like Lyra Valkyria, and I think it's great that she was the first women's intercontinental champion. At some point, I hope that it leads to like Dakota Kai getting an opportunity potentially win that, because Dakota Kai is like in the same boat as Zelina Vega. Like, really never been a singles champion, at least in WWE. And frankly, she deserves it. She's worked her butt off, and like she's always shown how talented and gifted she is. So it's always nice to see, talented people who love the business, who people universally like and really respect, whether it's backstage or in the fan base, get a chance to win and have a big moment like this on the post WrestleMania SmackDown. Like this was, like I said, it was in a big spot on the show. And then, like I said, cherry on top of the Sunday, her husband's back in the company. And I mean, that's not going to ever be referenced on screen, but still really fucking cool. Really fucking cool. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm just over the moon for Zelina. Like she has long since deserved to be in a high profile position to potentially win a championship. And she did. It was a shock win, but like I said, as people are saying, it is about damn time. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.